There was a Smash tournament where they were inviting all the different Melee players to come together for one big action-packed event. And one of the people that they invited was actually Hungrybox. Now, a lot of people were saying that it kind of hurts the competitive integrity of the tournament to invite all these different people who will really, really have been grinding it out lately in Melee, but they're saying, well, we really don't know, behind the scenes if Hungrybox is or he isn't. But they were saying that it seems like he's focusing so much more of his time on playing Smash Ultimate rather than Melee, and it seems like he was really kind of only being invited because he's Hungrybox. Do you guys feel like competitive integrity is something that we really should take into account when it comes to tournaments and things of that nature? That you should make sure that if you have an invitational tournament, that you're only inviting people who have really put in a lot of work in a certain game.
Competitive integrity when it comes to tournaments. I guess it's kind of a interesting topic to kind of like dive into. But I mean, he was a previous Summit champion, so I mean, you can look at it in that regard as like he's coming back, returning to see if he can defend his title. And then some people you got they don't like it because they feel like somebody else could have taken that spot. Yeah, you can look at it in both ways. And I know you just mentioned about Octavian that somebody that works hard and putting in a lot of work for the community. And if that's Hungrybox, I would say like he's putting in a lot of work with his skill with the character. That he was kind of the premier Jigglypuff player. I don't know. I just think it's one of those things where now if there was something like being done that was underhanded to where like they was like, okay, this person is who we chose, then they replaced them with Hungrybox. I think that's something that's more of an issue. Like if that was what happened, I don't think that's what happened. But I would definitely say that was something where it's like, okay, you had this one player that's up and coming. Maybe they've been working hard, grinding it out, streaming, going to events and whatever, and then you replaced him with him because I guess maybe his renown and who he is Hungrybox. Yeah, I would definitely say that's an issue. But with them, it's being invite only. I mean, a lot of these events and tournaments sometimes are invite only, and a lot of times people to get invited are people that are known. So I don't know. I feel like it's just one of them certain things. Like, how did it happen? Was he just invited off the rip? Just because he's Hungrybox and come, defend his crown, or was it like, hey, we got this person in mind, but no, let's not invite them. Let's invite Hungrybox instead. So it just kind of, I think there's a lot of extra things you got to look at when it comes to like the invite only tournaments. Because usually, I mean, invite tournaments are only going to be for people that are, I guess or household names typically, or have some type of like pool in the community or some type of like status in the community. So I think that's just where it lies. Like to me, I don't feel like it's that big of an issue, as long as it wasn't anything done like underhandedly.
I think that like definitely I agree that it's like if as long as nothing underhanded happened, I think everything's cool. It is a little disconcerting though, because yeah, they're kind of it would have been nice for them to invite somebody maybe who was like more of an like maybe another up and comer or something like that. I don't know. I know because it's kind of like you have like actors and stuff that get jobs all the time. There's some actors who get have you ever watched a movie and thought maybe that actor is a little bit too old for that role? It's like, yeah, they're a little bit too old, man. Maybe they could have gotten somebody, a lesser known person to fill that role or something, And I feel like that this, and I kind of feel the same here, is that maybe they could have gotten somebody who was a little bit, I don't know, I don't know, just somebody who's not as well known as Hungrybox. I don't have a problem with Hungrybox being in the tournament because, like you see Hungrybox in the tournament and people are like, oh man, it's Hungrybox. But at the same time, it would have been nice to give the shine to, to somebody else, like let somebody else come and like have a chance to make a name for themselves in the tournament. It's kind of like if you have Hungrybox in the tournament, it's good that he's there. But if he wins, it's just like, oh well, Hungrybox, he came in, defended his title, as opposed to like having somebody who maybe hasn't won the tournament before coming up and making a name for themselves, I mean, they might make a name for themselves even if he is there, but it would be nice to let someone new win the tournament. Somebody, a new face. Maybe not necessarily a new face, maybe a lesser known face. Either way, there's no guarantee that Hungry Box is going to win, but I mean, he's pretty good. He's good. It's not like he didn't win for no reason before. He won because he's good at the game. So I just think, there's nothing wrong. I don't think it compromises the competitive integrity, but I do think as far as like, keeping things fresh, I think it definitely kind of compromises the freshness of the tournament. I mean, but I don't blame him for accepting the invitation, to be honest. I mean, they invited him, he accepted the invite. I would have too. So that's pretty much my the long and short of my opinion.
Yeah, I get where everybody was coming from. Just like I spoke to you guys before we came on live, it reminds me. I get where people coming from. It kind of reminds me of wrestling. If anybody's a wrestling fan, they know that WWE has a hard time with letting go of the people from the past. They will gladly bring The Rock in, Hulk Hogan in, Shawn Michaels in, Stone Cold if he would let them, to come do a main event of like the biggest pay-per-view of the year, and people look back and be like, wait a minute, this guy has been here, has won the crowd over, been working hard for years and stuff like that. He deserves this. But just because, Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels, he comes in and he gets it. And, so it's kind of like that same sentiment. So I get what people are saying. Do I feel like it hurts the competitive integrity? No, not necessarily. I mean, 95% of the cast was, people that everybody was okay with. So if they bring in Hungry Box, who's like a legend, I mean, the phenom in when it comes to Melee, a guy that has, amazing credentials. I mean, a person that even if he did like take some time off, not saying that he did, could still be a potential threat in this tournament. And I'm pretty sure the people who are in the tournament will be honored to fight against someone like Hungry Box. So, I don't think it's too bad in this instance, but I will say that that is something that we probably need to carry on in like other tournaments. If it starts getting like so carried away where it's like, okay, this is obviously you guys are just doing this for just big name box office stuff. Like, you got Hungry Box, Mewtwo, and all these other people coming back. It's like, okay, when are we gonna have these new up and comers who's really been doing like such a great job in the community with this game? Then yeah, we can like do it then. But I mean, I appreciate that the conversation was sparked from this happening, so that there's an awareness of like, okay, this is what we don't want to happen in the community. But I don't believe that this instance is something that, really ruined the competitive integrity of a game. I mean, Hunger Box, do your thing. I'm sure you will. But that's what I have to say about it.